Happy Workforce Wednesday, everyone. I'm Anna Browne, Workforce Development Manager for the Port of Morrow. And joining me today is Dr. Jeff Wendler from Threemile Canyon Farms. And I'll let him take a quick minute to introduce himself.
Yeah, look, I'm Jeff Wendler. I'm the general manager at Threemile Canyon Farms over the livestock division. I've been there about 14 years. I've been in Morrow County for about that long as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're excited to have you today, and we're excited to learn a little bit more about positions and work out at Threemile Canyon Farm. So we kind of have some questions that we're going to work through and talk. So for those people who might be unfamiliar with like quote unquote farm operations, tell us a little bit about the entities that make up Threemile, because it's not just like one business isn't just out there. There's so many moving parts.
No, we have several businesses, and it's primarily a farming and a livestock operation, primarily dairy. Um, it's a great partnership between a very large farm. The total land mass out there is the same size as Portland. There's close to 100,000 acres where we farm, about 55,000 acres of that. Uh, we have everything from growing forages, hay, alfalfa, corn silage, corn. I mean, I can go on and on. It's not just a one crop farm. We grow a variety of different crops. A lot of it to support the dairy. The dairy, we milk about 37,000 cows twice a day. That milk all goes here to Boardman to the Tillamook plant. And we have about 35,000 head of young stock as well out there. Uh,
That's so cool.
yeah, it's a large operation with a lot going on, especially this time of year. We're harvesting, and so there's always a lot of activity out there.
That's really cool. Well, a farm the entire size of the city of Portland. That's pretty impressive. Really kind of makes us think where our food comes from a little bit. So like obviously that takes a lot of people to keep the place going. How many employees do you have kind of between all the different sectors out there?
We run about 400 full-time employees between the farm and the dairy operations. That goes up during certain times of the year, especially on the farm. The dairy is pretty stable, but the farm, we'll be close to 900 employees certain times of the year. Um, and that's a variety of different, I think when people think about farms, they think about or dairies, they think about milking cows or driving a tractor, but there's a lot more out there. There's IT, we have robotics people, we have, counting people, we have, you know, mechanics, a lot of technical work, a lot of technicians out there, office staff, and I'll probably start repeating myself, but the variety of jobs out there are amazing. And I think that, people tend to think, well, I'm going to work on a dairy, I'm going to milk cows. That's an important part of what we do, but there's a lot of other jobs and opportunities out there as well.
Yeah, so basically anything that you have an interest in or anything that you've studied, you can just about get a job doing that at Three Mile, I feel like.
Anything.
Yeah.
There's very little, I mean, from management to electricians, I mean, I can go on and on about, and we're always looking. We're always looking for good people out there.
That's awesome. Everybody's looking for good people.
Well,
So, well, that tells us, if you have that many folks that are working out there. So, what kind of positions do you have that are open, right now?
uh, we have parlor maintenance, we have, electricians, we need accountants, we're looking for accountants. Um, we're always looking to train people for management.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing that I think people are a little worried about sometimes, they think, well, I didn't grow up on a farm, so I wouldn't fit out there. It's just not true. Um, I'd say half of our management staff didn't grow up on a farm,
Hmm.
didn't grow up on a dairy. Some did, some didn't. It's just a passion for agriculture. The fact that we're feeding the world, we're producing the highest quality food in the world, and we're feeding the world, and it's coming right out of Boardman, Oregon. I think to me, that's exciting every day to know that I'm doing that. Like we're making a difference. We're actually feeding people. We're doing it efficiently. We're doing it, as good or better than the rest of the world does it. So there's a lot of pride that goes with that.
Yeah, I think that's such a great message. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were kind of talking a little bit about everything that was out there, and we were kind of lamenting back to our own like studies and our own, kind of career paths, and thinking like we didn't even know anything about something like that. And the other person I was talking with is right here from this area, and they were saying, well, I could have studied agronomy, or I could have done this, or I could have worked on the farm doing this, and just I think it's important for us to share the story of everything that's happening out there and the opportunity that has for anyone looking to make a career change. We're not talking about just students coming out of school or out of high school, but certainly there's a ton of opportunities for people in those places, students in those places to, start something on the ground floor and then work their way into just an amazing career, a lot more than a job.
Absolutely. And we have a probably the best intern program I've seen out there, especially on the dairy side, where we, and local kids get priority on that. Kids that are in college or, the first year of college throughout their time there can apply. They'll spend a summer with us. It's a great way to see if you like this type of work. They work with our veterinarians and our nutritionists. They'll have a project, they'll have jobs that they do. They'll move through every department. We have several departments out there. I mean, the experience you get out there, we calve between 150 to 200. We have 150 to 200 calvings every day.
Which is my favorite part about any visit at the farm. In my next life, that's where I'm going to work, is in the dairy maternity.
Yeah, and the amount of cows. So you'll get, in that couple months on our place, you'll get more experience than you will, working years at other places. And so it's a great opportunity, but then we pay the person to come out, pay them an hourly wage. And then at the end of the year, at the end of their time there, they get a $10,000 scholarship, which goes to school. So, and it's good for us because we're looking at future managers that come through our place. And it's not like, people think about agriculture, they think of, no days off and long work hours, and it's changed. We wouldn't have employees if that was the way it was. When I first started, that's the way. And again, I didn't grow up on a farm. I went to vet school, and that's when I decided I liked, working with large animals, and especially dairy and beef. But I had no idea before that. And it just clicked, and I became passionate about it. And I still love it. 100 years later, after I graduated vet school, I'm still loving it.
100 years.
But
So the internship part, I want to just like stress that to anyone that's watching, or any parents, or anyone with students, or prospective college students, or even somebody that's taking a different career path. Again, we advocate for a lot of internships in our area, and really, hands down, this is kind of the best bang for your buck. And one of the things I want to work on this next year is, figuring out how many of our local students have in fact gone through that internship program and what they're doing now, because so many of them are employed at Threemile with so many different positions, including management, and some things that they have a career that is their career, and they're passionate about it. And a lot of that comes from the experience that they gained as an intern. So more information about that will come in about February or March, as the application process for that opens. So I think that's really important to kind of everybody keep that on their radar, because it is such a tremendous opportunity for our students. So
yeah, and I'd recommend even starting in junior high and high school if there's tours, through FFA, 4-H. We have a really, I think a really kind of cool heifer program that people. The reason why we started it was that kids that maybe, hadn't been involved in the fair, or wonder what that was about, or didn't grow up on. It's open to everybody, but opportunities also for people that maybe didn't grow up with livestock to get out there to work they get a heifer, they raise that heifer, and then they go show it at the fair. And then 4 or 5 times during the year, the veterinarians and nutritionists out there will work with them and teach them all about dairy and life. But it's a good introduction to what we do.
Mm-hmm.
The farm, has several great programs, but if you've ever talked about Threemile or I hear it all the time. Well, this is what goes on at Threemile, and you haven't, or this is what it's about, and you haven't been out there. I'd suggest you go out there. It's different than what people I think, and you have to see it. It's a wonderful place to work. We think people talk about culture all the time. This is our culture, and that it could be good or not, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's always been like a family out there, and it's just a really great place to work. I'm of course very proud to work there.
Right. That's one of my favorite parts about these Workforce Wednesday discussions is that everybody that comes in here and talks to us, they've obviously invested a lot of time into their place of employment and why they work there and what they want to share about their workplace culture. And I think that I know in the time that I've spent in all of these places where I've had you guys come in as guests, I feel like, gosh, well, this would be such a fun place to work, or this would be such a fun place to work, and it's all related to that culture, and I think that that's really cool to share that. And obviously, my time with 4-H before coming to the Port of Morrow. I'm super passionate about the dairy heifer program and everything that Threemile does to support our ag programs, 4-H and FFA throughout the region, and it's really, there isn't anything like it. When you visit other places and you work with other colleagues across the country, nobody else is doing this, and they don't have the kind of partnership that these organizations have with Threemile. So I think that that's really great. That's awesome. Gosh, we're just kind of cranking through these questions, and I don't even have to ask them. Like, you're just already talking about them. So, like a little bit, what kind of incentives are there for new employees? Because I feel like, well, I hate that right now that there's like hiring incentives for, obviously the incentive of staying at a great job is that it's a great job, but what kind of, what's the incentive for making a change to come to Threemile?
Beyond what we've already talked about, and I can't, I'll just tell you how lucky I feel. We feel very lucky to be part of this community, and that's why, and I do think this is a special place, and that's why we do prioritize, local people, because we want people to be able to stay here and have good jobs here. Incentivize, we don't have a lot of those programs out there right now. I will tell you that and another thing that people think is that agriculture is low pay. Not the case. We're competing for employees just like everybody else. We have a lot of ag jobs won't have insurance. We have full insurance. We have 401 matching programs, great retirement program, bonus structures. And so I think that, those are the main things that we offer, and especially if you're going to work in agriculture. Those aren't as common as people think.
Right. We don't get to keep 300 to 400 employees all the time without offering that kind of stuff. So I think that definitely changing like the misconception about that is really important. So how would we find, like, if we're looking for a job, how do we find open positions at Threemile? Where do we go to look for that?
Our HR department does a really good job of keeping those posted on our webpage. That's probably the best place to go. You can always call our office. I see most of you in our grocery store. You can talk to me when I see you in there. I'm always excited to talk about our place. So if anybody has any questions about anything that we have, like you see me around town, I love to talk about our place and what we have going on. So I think those are the main ones.
Okay. And also, if you're trolling our workforce development page with the Port of Morrow, the positions with Threemile are linked out, and we do share them on our reposts every month about what's available. So that's all fairly current. That's at what's open at the beginning of the month. And then, as far as the application process, our department helps offer hiring support, and then you can contact your HR office, which has multilingual staff as well, to help, you know, complete the application process and start with that hiring part. All right, so gosh, we just kind of cranked through everything. If there was anything else, one thing that you really wanted people to know about Threemile and working there, what would it be? I think you shared a little bit about your passion, but like one last hurrah, like what's the best part?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go on for. I feel very blessed to be there. Like I said, I've been there 14 years. I love the people I work with. I feel very fortunate to work with them. Uh, you know, the community. You know, we you know we feel very, very again fortunate to be able to be in Morrow County, to be in this area. The people that we get to work with, the the ability to operate. And again, I would just say if you have any questions about our place, or there's tours, I know you guys are putting some tours together. If you're a young person thinking about, never have experienced or worked in agriculture, didn't grow up with it, get curious and get out there and see what we have going on out there. There's the amount of jobs, and as we automate, we two and going to three of our barns, and the fourth barn will be all, almost all robotic. Um, the opportunities that I don't think people think that we have out there, or again, accounting, or, we love to help kids go to college and then bring them back to Boardman. And that's just good for this town. And so again, pretty special place. I'm really glad to be out there. If you're curious at all, come check us out.
Cool. Well, I love it. Again, we have so many unique opportunities here, and this is just one way that we can get the word out and share everything that everyone's passionate about and all the things that we do here. And I think that's the favorite part about my job is sharing everything that we have to offer, not just our students here, but really anybody who wants to become invested part of our community and part of our workforce here.
Well, the job that you guys do, I've lived in a couple other communities, like the outreach that you have and the support you provide to us and to the community, and you don't see that everywhere. So
Yep.
we're
taking away the great story of Boardman, one day at a time. So again, so if you have questions, check out the Threemile Canyon Farms website. Contact information for Dr. Wendler will be posted in the comments of this video when we're done. And thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks.